Hi there, folks. This is Adam with 8 Badge Gaming coming to you today with Game 1 in our Zoro Egg series. So, this is the Zoroark Exeggutor GX deck, also running the regular Alolan Exeggutor from Forbidden Light. So, we're going to go ahead and dive into our first game here. Now, it looks like we're against likely Drampa Garbodor here. Not a deck that we'd like to see. Could also be Espeon Garbodor there as well. So we're going to see, or rather we're waiting for our opponent to load the game there. And then we're going to see what the coin flip is going to be. Now, this is a deck that we're pretty decent against if our opponent doesn't get the Garbotoxin lock. And that's because we're going to be able to just trade away. We have psychic resistance on our Zoroarks. They're not really taking one-shots on any of our Pokemon, and we're generally going to be pretty well off. Now, unfortunately, it looks like the only basic we're starting with here is going to be a Zorua. We do have the Float Stone to be able to get it out of active, as well as a DCE, but I don't know if we want to attach the DCE just yet. Now, it looks like we're going to have to do a turn 1N here, just because we're not going to have any other basics to throw down there at the moment. So it might be the attach of a DCE and a Float Stone to the Zorua, retreat, and that's going to be after the N, depending on if N gets us anything that we need. Now, sadly, attaching the DCE isn't a great idea there right now with the Drampa having the Righteous Edge attack, which does force a discard of special energy. And it looks like our opponent has started off with a Parallel City to limit our bench. Now, they're actually inning for us, which is great because it means that we're going to be able to potentially get a Bridget, which we did, which is going to allow us to have a bit of a better start. So let's go ahead here and we're going to bridge it to start. We want to go for Zorua, and an Execute here. I don't think we want to go for Mew. It's not terribly effective right now, and we don't want to go for multiple Executes there at the moment. So we're going to do our Bridget. I think we actually go ahead and expend our Puzzle of Time here, just to see if we can set up a better draw. We do have Ultra Ball on the top, as well as Guzma and Energy. And I think what we want to do is, at this point, just go ahead and pass back to our opponent. We are limited on our bench space, so we couldn't lay, say, the Kartana, for example. We could have gone for one less Zorua to do a slice off with the Kartana. They are doing an N, which I think we're totally okay with. We were planning to draw the Ultra Ball next turn, but it looks like they're stuck on basic Pokemon as well. Getting another Bridget isn't great for us, but we did get some cards that can be discarded here. So we are seeing a Big Wheel GX from our opponent here, putting themselves up to 10 cards. Let's go ahead. We'll toss down an energy here. We're going to Ultra Ball, pitching a Bridget and an energy. So let's go ahead and get a Zoroark here. We're going to evolve a Zoroark. We're going to attach a Choice Band to the Execute. Then we're going to do a Sycamore. We then want to Ultra Ball, discarding an Execute, and I think maybe a Guzma to go get, it looks actually like both of our Alolan Exeggutor regulars are prized. So that's not good for us, but it does mean that we can go get another Zoroark. I'm kind of sad for our energy attachment there now. So let's go ahead and we'll start the trade train. So let's trade a Cynthia. Let's trade a multi-switch. We're going to trade the Ultra Ball. And then we're going to Field Blower, taking out both the Choice Band and the Parallel City. Kind of wish we'd kept that Ultra Ball now to go for the Kartana. And now we're going to go ahead and just pass back. So sadly our opponent does get free reign with that now 11 card hand that they have. So we're likely going to see a significant amount of setup on our opponent's side here. Now if he does want to go for the Eevee's Energy Evolution here, we're likely going to see just a Righteous Edge from our opponent. He did obviously get down another Parallel City here, which makes us at least a little sad. But it's not too shocking overall. We kind of expected it, to say the least. Depending on how our opponent sets up here, how many cards they go down, we might look at using the Sycamore over the Cynthia or the N, mainly because we're happy to discard the Metal Energy, at least at the moment, and still have the DCE up. We want to try and hit our second Field Blower if at all possible, mainly to get rid of that Parallel City, because then that does give us the ability to get our opponent's Drampa locked into the active possibly, and gives us full damage availability on our Zoroark here. He did attach a DCE to a Tapu Lele there as well. Looks like he's actually going for the Exeggutor knockout here. So let's see him do an energy drive, hitting for 60 and taking a prize. Alright, so we're going to promote a Zoroark here. We do have the ability to Kartana now. Of course, we drew the Alolan Exeggutor. So let's go ahead and toss down an energy here. I think we want to... I think we're actually just going to Sycamore here. We're going to go just for raw card draw capability. We did get our other Field Blower, so we're going to Field Blower that right on out of here. Let's Rescue Stretcher. We're going to put a Pokemon from discard back into hand, which is going to be one of our Executes. We're going to throw the Execute down, and then we're going to Professor's Letter. We're going to go for Grass Energy and Fighting. Then we're going to discard some cards through the train here. So we're going to discard the Fighting Energy. We can then Kartana. And we're going to discard an energy off the Drampa, because we don't care so much about the Lele. We're going to throw down another Zorua, then we're going to trade off the Psychic Energy here. We're going to trade away the Dark Energy here. Down to 10 cards in deck, and we've only seen one of the 4 puzzles so far. So I think we simply go ahead here now and we'll do a Riotous Beating for 120 damage on the Lele. So we're set up for a potential knockout next turn. If our opponent wants to try and get an Espeon going via the Energy Evolution, we're going to be seeing that on the Eevee there. And I'm actually kind of happy if he doesn't have a Psychic Energy here at the moment for the Trash Avalanche on the Garbodor. Because right now we're looking at 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 items, which is going to be 200 damage, which still doesn't actually one-shot a Zoroark, and the Zoroark can one-shot back, particularly on the Garbotoxin. We're probably going to see him promote the Drampa here and go for a Riotous Edge, but we're going to be able to force up the Lele there and take a KO. So let's go... and we're going to Guzma up the Lele. And we're going to attach a DCE and evolve here. And now we're going to just go ahead. We're not going to trade any further because we only have 9 cards left in the deck. So we're going to do a Riotous Beating for KO here. And we're going to take 2 prizes, and hopefully one of them is going to be our Alolan Exeggutor, and unfortunately neither of them was. Now we do have the ability next turn to Puzzle of Time to get back double DCE, which is going to let us KO this Drampa over time, because he is going to try to continue with the Riotous Edge, if I would be able to guess there. And if we can keep the pressure on and take out his primary attackers there, we might be a little bit better off. Now, getting End isn't great for us here, because if he does get a tool for his Garbodor there to turn on Garbotoxin, we're going to be a little boned, because we're going to have our Zoroark stuck in the active. So we did get 1 puzzle of time. We've got a Float Stone there shutting down the abilities, a Choice Band, and now we're going to start seeing some pressure here. Now, unless he retreats, but I don't figure that he would. So let's see here. We did get double puzzle. So let's go and let's see. Let's double puzzle. We're going to put 2 cards from our discard pile back into our hand. We're going to go for, let's see. There's 1 puzzle in bin. Let's go for a DCE. And I'm thinking a Guzma here. So let's go for DCE and Guzma. We'll attach a DCE. We're going to Guzma up Mr. Garbotoxin back there. And then we're just going to go ahead and ride as beating for KO. Now, again, we're hoping to hit one of our 2 Alolan. There we go. We got one of our Alolan Exeggutors. We've got the Grass Energy in hand. So now we'll just need a way to get our Zoroark out of the active. Now, that might just be via KO. But being able to Tropical Shake right now, I believe, for the full 120, because we do have 5 different types in our bin here, is going to be pretty strong. And of course he did have a Lele to go Wonder Tagging here to essentially go get a draw supporter, I'm guessing. Likely a Sycamore, given that he only has 1 card in hand, but if he doesn't have any Sycamores left, it might be a Cynthia. So it does look like he went for the Cynthia. Let's see what he goes up to. I think we have exhausted some of his DCEs here, because we do have 2 in the bin and 1 on the Drampa, so he's not able to really get the Espeon fully suited up here. He's still not able to take a one-shot, I think, here with the Trash Avalanche on the Garbodor. So let's go ahead here now. We're going to evolve into the Alolan Exeggutor. We've used both of our Guzmas. We have no way to get one back. Let's see. We'll attach an energy here, attach a Choice Band. Let's see, 10 cards left. Let's go ahead and end, put our opponent down 1 card, have a slightly less sculpted hand, I guess, and we got our Float Stone, which is excellent for us here now, because we can go Float Stone here. We can retreat into our Alolan Exeggutor, and then we can go Tropical Shake to hit for 150. So that's going to force him to take either his Drampa out of the active here now, and which would be a retreat of discarding his DCE, which means that it's not going to be set up for proper attacks next turn, but it would allow him to take a one-shot on our Exeggutor using his his Trash Avalanche Garbodor there. But if we can then put up one of our Zoroarks, attach a DCE, and then we're going to be ready to just one-shot the Garbodor back. So he is going to rescue Stretcher 3 back into his deck. He's down to 20 cards compared to our 8. Again, we don't want to draw too heavily here. He's going to Ultra Ball here, likely going for Garbotoxin, which is going to leave him very card stuck. So if he doesn't go for the KO here, or if he just goes for straight KO on the Exeggutor, he's still going to be extremely far behind. Mainly because we can now just DCE onto our Zoroark and just take the KO, because we can throw down the Execute onto our bench. So he needs to have just a very applicable card, and I'm actually happy to throw down the Lele here instead to see what supporters we have left in the deck, which is Acerola, we have a DCE, a Fairy Energy, Float, Professor's Letter. So let's go for Acerola, just because that's going to let us just shift this around. We're going to throw down an energy here, and then we're going to Riotous Beating. So we're going to KO the Garbodor here. We're going to take another prize. It's our last Puzzle of Time, which makes us think that I probably should have used Puzzle of Time to take back a DCE and a puzzle there to potentially set up for additional puzzling, but it might not be the best route. So we see a Super Rod here. If he doesn't have a draw supporter, he's going to be a little stuck, because I know one of the two cards he has in hand is the Garbotoxin Garbodor, and being able to just knock it out of the active here now, pretty much any Pokemon that he does put into the active can be messed with pretty easily. If he does put up the Espeon and go for the Confusion, we can just Acerola it back into hand, promote one of our other Pokemon here, and just start laying into the Espeon, particularly where it's only going to be hitting for 30. So we got a Guzma here, which is actually probably the worst thing that he could have done, given the fact that we have an Acerola in hand, because now we can just Acerola the Zoroark back into our hand, not worry about any potential confusion there. I don't know why we got the confusion reminder, but we're just going to Acerola the Zoroark back into hand, which lets us put up our undamaged Zoroark with its Riotous Beating available, and we're just going to go ahead and Riotous Beating here. So we're going to hit for 120. Our opponent's only hitting us back for 10 due to the Psychic Resistance. We're in a pretty good spot here. If we can just succeed on any attack or top deck another Acerola or DCE, because right now we can actually just go retreat into our other Zoroark, attach a DCE, and go for Riotous Beating for KO. So we were able to secure our win there. So even with both of our original Alolan Exeggutors prized, we were able to get a victory there, primarily off the back of the Zoroarks. But the Alolan Exeggutor itself, finally getting one out of the prizes, being able to throw it down and immediately put 150 damage on our opponent's Drampa, forced him to go into the retreat, promote his Trash Phalanx Garbodor, which we were simply able to one-shot then with a Riotous Beating back. So that actually clues up our first game there for today. You'll see this obviously continuing over the next few days for the next games that we do record. So far we're currently 1-0, beating out the Espeon Garbodor deck, and hopefully we're able to keep that string of wins going. So thank you all as always for tuning in, and this is Adam with 8 Badge Gaming signing off.